I'm gonna put it on pause again for a little while. I want y'all to see downtown Nashville, and so you got to do that. So now we're gonna pause it and just cruise on to home. Over on the left, by the way, what you now see is part of Vanderbilt University. Used to be 100 Oaks Mall. That was back in the, I guess, the early 70s. We used to come up here a lot. That was the closest mall for us, big mall. And we'd come up here to the old 100 Oaks Mall and come up and go to the Grand Ole Opry. I didn't get to go to it as often as my wife did. When she was a youngster, she and her mother and other friends routinely came to the Grand Ole Opry when it was the old Ryman Auditorium. And they'd go downtown, and there was a steakhouse just kind of across the diagonal from the Ryman. I guess it's probably in there now where either the Predator Stadium is or the Convention Center. And they would go up and they'd have a T-bone steak and then go watch the performance at the Ryman. When I started going to the opera, it was already out at the Opera House. I did go to the Ryman a time or two for special programs, but all the opera I ever got to see was at the new Opera House. Seats a whole lot more, but just not as neat as the old Ryman. All right, I'm gonna put y'all on pause, and we'll maybe come back on before I get home. Well, we've exited 65 now. We're moving on down towards home. We're about maybe 35 or 40 miles from home, give or take. We're getting off on Highway 64. So 64 takes us into Fayetteville. There's two ways of getting home from here. One is to go through Ardmore, Tennessee, and down through the west side of Huntsville and cut across, or to go across to Fayetteville. Going across to Fayetteville is a little bit farther, but a heck of a lot better road. It's 4-lane for the most part, getting to Fayetteville, and 4-lane to home for the most part, at least to Huntsville. And going the Ardmore route is 2-lane most of the way, and not a very good road. Lots of traffic, 2-lane road. So, and then you got to cut across Huntsville, west to east, where this way I avoid that trip across Huntsville and go in on the west side to start with. So anyway, this is a pretty little drive right here. I thought I'd record it. It used to be a 2-lane road out there, and it was a tough little old road to negotiate. And they 4-laned it and opened this thing up, and it is just a really nice drive. Like I say, it takes a little bit longer, and it's a few more miles, but it's certainly a better road to drive. So I opt to go this way now. As you can see, the speed limit is 65, so it's not like you're held up in time by speed. So anyway, I'm gonna record this little segment right through here, and then I'll pause it, and then I'll come back on and come into Huntsville. I have to say that southern Tennessee and northern Alabama, out of all the properties, the country that I've seen on this trip, I love the variations, but home is always home, and you're always partial, I guess, to what you grew up with. And I grew up with mountains and hills and lots of trees. And I like that. But I certainly enjoyed all the stuff I saw along the way. Wow. I wonder how many times on this trip I said, wow. This is a little view here to the right. Gives it a little drama looking at it with these heavy clouds overhead. Won't be a long video. I'm sure it's already been broken into two pieces, so it'll be a part 1, part 2, maybe a part 3 before I get home. Who knows? Brother lives down to the right, a good ways down there yet, but he lives off down to the right in southern Tennessee. Pretty farms along up through here. Mostly cattle. Quite a long to-do list for tomorrow. Already started. First thing I got to do is get the camper emptied out, obviously, and then I may do that tonight, and then get this thing down to check out the front end. I've got some tractor parts in the machine shop I got to go check on and see if they're going to be ready anyway soon. Hopefully they are ready. And then sorry about that. Several other things. One thing tomorrow, it's quite important to me. The cemetery had informed me that they had set our gravestone, and so I'm anxious to go out and see it and get some fresh flowers in the vase. Beverly hadn't had any flowers since I left. And then I've got to order some tractor parts for a G John Deere that I've been working on. I haven't got the parts for it yet. So that's a must. Get those coming. I got a pretty busy day tomorrow. And then in all of that, I got to go through all my mail, and I always hate to do that. How about y'all? When you come home from vacation and you got a big old stack of mail and you got to go through all that stuff, I find that to be a very labor-intensive thing, and trying to just sort out what was important that you got, what was not important, and of course most of mine is not important, and then did you fail to do something that you should have done? So I go through that hassle every time I come home from a trip, particularly a long trip, but it's a must. Before I left, I had most everything that I routinely get that's of any importance shifted over to online statements and online communications. So that helped a whole bunch. Looks like most of what I got was kind of junk mail for the most part. I got to get through all of that stuff. It'll be 3 or 4 days before I get settled back into some kind of regular routine. Pretty wet season since I've been gone. The crops seem to be doing well. The grass seems to be growing well. Sit here now for a little while. We're coming up pretty close to an hour on this video. Check out that beautiful home up on the hill. I always like that place as I come through here. But we're coming up on an hour here pretty soon, so I don't want this thing to get over an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it for now, and not much more to say here. We'll get into Huntsville, and I'll restart it when I get home. Talk to y'all a little bit later down the road. Well, folks, me and the Beauty and the Beast, we finally made it home. Looked like a lot of overgrowth here on the driveway. Hadn't been trimmed back. Got to get busy doing some trimming. So we are home, and I have to admit, happy to be here. Probably got a lot of grass to cut, but we'll see. It don't look too bad. My nephew's been keeping the grass cut for me, so it don't look too bad at all. And so that's the little abode, home base, as you might say. So I'm going to sign off here now, and next video I'll put this video up, and then the next one I'll put up will probably be a video of evaluating the Lance 850. So I'm going to put one video up of that. So after, let's see, we got actual miles. Looks like to be let me see, 15,539 miles, 40 miles, 15,540 miles, give or take, on the trip. And so I don't know that I'll ever publish how much it cost, because there's no point to it, but it happened, and that's it. So next time I post something, I'll be on the next trip or the review of the Lance 850 camper. And then my next trip should be sometime in middle of August, when I go up to Lawrenceburg, Tennessee for a tractor show, and then again from there on up to Portland, Indiana for a show. So anyway, hey, it's been great having y'all along with me. I appreciate those of you who have followed me, and particularly those who have followed from day one. There's a lot of you that's been on following me from day one, and I appreciate that. So I hope to post something that you'll enjoy later on. If not, thank you much for tagging along with me. Some of you that had started in late, I recommend that you go back and look at the first video, and I'll tell you a whole lot about my history and who I am and why I'm doing this. So I'm going to sign off for now and say bye, y'all.